Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Collecting and Hobbies. But this time we present Wrestling Figures Review. Okay, so this is technically my first action figure review for WWE action figures. And I've done an unboxing before where I just pulled out a whole bunch of figures and I never actually opened any or reviewed any. So I decided let's start with the newest one that I've got. Now, this is the newest figure out there in the Divas division or the women's division that is currently on store shelves. Of course, there's a couple of places online that gets them, a few weeks to even sometimes a couple of months earlier than retail. But this is the newest wave of figures to hit Walmart. Series 83 and 84 probably hit by the end of the month, I would hope. Maybe at Target or Walmart, but not really sure why that happens like that. Where Ringside and other places get these figures 2 months in advance because these were shipping like in January or February. Well, the date code says the 30th day of 2018, so this was technically shipped out of their warehouse quality control on the 30th day of January 2018. So that means Ringside was shipping these probably like in mid-February. And I have not seen anybody actually do a review of this figure. Well, maybe one. Around the same time that I got it, they were getting theirs. And so I'm going to try to do something a little bit different. Now here's my custom Alicia Fox. The only other Alicia Fox figure that I have at the moment. And this was a custom from, I believe it was Total Divas Customs. I'm not really sure. I got it on eBay. You can kind of tell this was like in her old style where she came out with that, funky music that was really cool. And like her Divas Champion days where she had the little short skirt and she'd always walk out she'd strut, I guess what you call it, make her skirt bounce and like a pom-pom or whatever. And this was way before Team Bella or any of that kind of stuff. Or this is kind of like Team Bella outfit too, sort of a little bit after Team Bella, but she wore this kind of stuff in Team Bella with but like in red, normally with Team Bella. And so let me show you something else real quick. This was her last action figure that came out before this new blue one. This came out about a year ago, maybe a little bit more than that. Series probably 50 something. Wait, where are we up to? 83? Wow. Okay, so it's been a while since she had a new figure. But yeah, you can, as of last year, you could still buy this one on Ringside for like $7 or $10 or so. But that was the one before it. And this custom at least, it still retains that. It's just, you could tell it's the Alicia Fox legs connected to a painted Summer Rae body with not really sure whose that hair that is. That might be the original Alicia Fox. Their first time in the line, because you could tell if you look at her face, the way it's painted. I don't know if he altered that. She has brown eyes in this one, but for some reason she has blue eyes on here on the figures, and same with the figure before it. Also had blue eyes, which she must be wearing contacts because I'm pretty sure she doesn't have blue eyes. But okay, let me compare one more thing before I open it. Alright, I was just checking, but that's not. This is Alicia Fox's only other figure from Mattel. I'm pretty sure she didn't have one in Jack's. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. Didn't collect back then. But Yeah, I was just making sure that wasn't the original Alicia Fox's hair. I'm not really sure where that came from. It's painted, but I know it came from one of the divas in the past. But alright, yeah. So the only thing I don't like about this figure is it's sticky, really. And because it's repainted, and the guy said that, yeah, well, duh. You're not supposed to play with them or open them. You're supposed to put them on a custom card and sell it for $100 or something. That's what he told me. But I wasn't expecting them to be sticky because I asked him in advance and he said no. But whatever. All right. Now let's get to the actual review itself. That's the song I like of it. That's the theme song when she came out like this. Okay, enough of that. Let's pop this sucker open. Alright, trying to figure out a way to open it without actually ruining the card. But there really isn't a way. Not the way these are. Alright, there we go. And if just in case you're wondering, okay, I've heard somewhere that the basic figures are at a 1/10 scale, which means that they're 7 inches tall. Elites are 1/6 scale. Because if you look at a lot of elites and compare them to their basic counterparts from the last few years, they're at least a head taller. So when I get to that, well, if and when I ever get to that, then I'll show you. This is actually the first figure I've taken out of the package since 2002, since a Lita figure. And let's go over articulation first because I like to do things differently because most people don't ever do this. So she's got single jointed knees. And let's see, is there a swivel there? I'm going to break my very first figure because I don't know what's going on. I don't know. There might be a ball hinge there, but if there is, it's not moving too much. Of course, there's the boot cut because the boots are technically a separate piece. And they printed, it looks like, the date code on the side of her leg, which is kind of stupid because they normally print it on the bottom of their feet. Another thing about this figure, it doesn't look like these are too centered, which I hope they correct that in future waves. But there's no more ankle articulation anymore. She has ball hinged hips, so you get a good range of motion there. Let's see. If you were laying on her back, if you were putting her like in a pose where you're gonna pin her, yeah, you could still do that, even though she has less articulation now. And of course, swivel at the waist. They have swivel at the wrist. This one has both fists. There's no hinge like a Star Wars Black Series figure like I'm used to. And then you got the head is on a ball joint, of course. And you can turn it all the way around. But her hair is very thick rubber. It's not like a real hard rubber, but it's very thick. So it takes a little bit of pushing over. Well, if you push your arms this way, it's not as hard to do. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. I'm trying to get this in a way where stand the figure all the way up and then show the articulation. It's not working for me today. And then the only other articulation you have is, of course, the wow, she gets pretty high up there. More than 90 degrees, much more. And of course the elbows, which do have a ball joint. You can move that all the way around. Maybe not all the way around, but should be able to, I think. It's really stiff on this figure. It's brand new, so let's see. Yeah, you can move them all the way around. Maybe not just when it's at the 90, when she's in her flex position. That looks pretty good, actually. It flex. But I've been waiting for this figure for quite a while. As soon as I saw it, she looks really skinny. I guess that's accurate. She's 5'9", plus her boots, of course, make her about 6 feet tall when she's performing, I guess. But I just like blue. Blue's my favorite color. I like this outfit. I like this particular attire that she's wearing. I've always liked it. I always thought it was one of her best. There it is right there. Here's the other figures in Wave 83, which is Randy Orton with the t-shirt painted on, Ty Dillinger, Kurt Angle in the general manager suit, and Triple H. So there's only 5 in this wave. I guess they're doing that with all of them now. Or a lot of them. Maybe not all of them. But, so let's show you the difference between the articulation of, just a year or two ago compared to, this is more like a 2015 figure, this one right here, and the other one's 2018, obviously, the new blue one. So the difference is the old Divas is what they were called back then, the women's division. They had a little bit of it. They had a hinge joint here. This is the old Alicia Fox legs. These right here, most figures do that because when they put them together, they put it together there to change their. Because a lot of figures have kick pads and stuff, or a lot of what do you call it? The wrestlers. A lot of them have kick pads. But what the difference that they're doing here is, see, it makes it a little bit more fluid what they're going for. I don't know if it's just cost cutting measures 100%, but they just want to make it more streamlined. So you don't have that big pin joint in the basic anymore. But if they were trying to streamline, you might argue that that it's not that, because the elites still have the same articulation as the old style. So they just started doing that a few waves ago, like in Series 78. And some of the figures, like a Battle Packs and that were planned last year that are still coming out, still have old articulation because they were already, produced before they were already planned that way. All right, so the hinge right here is hidden. There's no hinge right here. They still have single jointed knees, but now she doesn't have any extra ankle articulation. So the 2 points are gone right there. And then she no longer has swivels at the thighs. So there's 2 points gone. That's 4 points gone right there. As you can see, the torso no longer has any kind of abdominal rocker or crunch or whatever you want to call it, twist. These figures still have the same articulation in the fists, but it's kind of a little bit hard because I can't really move this one. But the hinge here is obvious. It's very obvious, and it does not have a ball joint because you can see it's just a solid piece of plastic with the hinge. And obviously, they don't have bicep swivel anymore on the new figures. So those are the difference. So they took out 2 points here. They added a point in the elbows, and then they took out 2 points here and 2 points down here. So technically, they took out 4 points of articulation altogether. So that's the most I've probably touched this Alicia Fox figure since I have it. I was going to put it on a custom card, make it a unique collectible. So what do I think of this figure? As my very first open Divas figure that's not a repainted custom. Um, well, I prefer, I think, I'm not sure what's going on with the knee joints. It looks as if there's some kind of ball joint there, but I can't really confirm that, I guess, because it does move a little bit. But with this there, you can't move it anyway. So if these are ball and swivel joints, then it's kind of redundant. Kind of don't need it, and especially with their left knee, it doesn't go all the way in. So this knee is it's a little more hidden. Now with the arms, the arm articulation, I would say aesthetically, meaning what they look like, the figure itself looks better without the swivel, but it hinders the articulation. So, I mean, you can still. I know a lot of people, no matter what, they're gonna hate the anything you say about that. It looks. I mean, it looks better as far as a just look appearance, but it I would still think that you would. I don't know. Really don't know actually, because I haven't had a lot of experience with these. So I think these joints are more solid actually because they're they just are. They just feel more solid than what I see with that other one, where it kind of looks like it's just clamped together and it. But I do have some elites that I'm going to open. So when I get some elites out, I'll do some more comparisons. Now let's go over the paint job and the presentation of this figure. The paint is, well, like I said, it's off-centered down here. There's a little bit too much overspray on her boot here because it's obviously molded blue. And it's a little bit, there's a tiny little smudge of black on her waist. Other than that, the paint is good. The face or likeness, it's. I mean, I see her. I see her there for sure. But see the way she's smiling right here. It kind of looks like she has, a bit of, a dimple on her chin or whatever. So there's the actual face, and there's the actual figure. Of course, she's smiling. Yeah, I mean, it looks like her, but I don't know if it's good enough. That's all I can say. Yeah, it may not be flawless, but it's good enough. Good enough for me, and it's probably better than this one. I would say because, well, this one looks cleaner for some reason. This has a cleaner looking face, but it doesn't look like Alicia Fox. And look at the color difference. This is the original Alicia Fox's legs. I think she's a bit darker, so skin tone. So I think it's a little bit more accurate with this figure. But I'm glad to have her in my collection. I'm glad to have a member of Team Bella. I do have some Nikki Bellas and some Breeze, some customs and stuff. Let's see here. Just that would be the main pose that I would worry about with articulation. Kind of is when you're going like for a pin. So if you, as long as you can pull off that pin pose, I can't believe I'm actually articulating here. Using this one, you know, then yeah. But so you could go for the pin, 1, 2, 3, because she loses more of the time than win anyway. But all right, so there's my review of Alicia Fox Custom and Series 83. And the next figure I'm going to review probably, I know there's a lot of new pictures that have been released. Not really a whole lot, but a little bit. But this is the Elite Bailey. And before they switched articulation, the Elites and the regular divas or women had the same articulation and the basics. So I have 2 Baileys ready to be unboxed, and when we get those 2 out, I'll compare them side by side, and I'll compare them with these new figures. I also have a Becky Lynch I might open. That's also from the new assortment, the 82. So this is my first review. I don't know if I'm going to put this on both channels. I created a wrestling figures review channel, but I haven't decided if I'm going to use that to start over on my channel and just make it all wrestling, because my other collecting and hobbies is primarily Star Wars, but it does have Transformers, Marvel Legends, and that one WWE unboxing. So, yeah, so maybe I'll put them on both channels, make one all wrestling. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next review.